You all know that I like to get to the point of things, so I'll be brief. The last thing I expected out of my life was to be in a position of leadership. I didn't see myself as strong enough or smart enough, articulate enough, and most importantly, patient enough. Yet I stand before you today, the proud leader of the greatest achievement mankind has ever made. Our colony has braved the true frontier. We've cultivated an alien world. We have brought water and clouds back to a barren sky and left our footprint in the Martian soil. As one, we have created the first true outpost of mankind. When I was a student in my early 20s, I figured I would spend the rest of my life working in some sterile lab, under the constant supervision of my superiors. After all, that had been my life at that point. Why should it be any different in 50 years? It was always the older, experienced scientists who commanded and controlled the younger students' work. There was no camaraderie, no brotherhood, no gentle mentor and student bond that here, in our beautiful Martian colony, we take for granted. I had made a promise to myself then, though more out of annoyance than anything, that should I ever become in charge of people, I would not let the power get to my head. I would refrain from flexing my authoritative muscles just because I could. The years went by and I grew up. I found a wonderful husband. I fostered and adopted 6 intelligent and wonderful children and teenagers. I rose up the scientific hierarchy, yet my graduate student shyness and awkwardness never quite faded. It was not until my early 40s when I had been approached by the director of NASA did I realize how far I had come. When they asked me to be among the first settlers on Mars, I was stunned. Me, the only adult who still acted like a student? I felt horribly unqualified. I remember that night I could not fall asleep. I felt sick and anxious, like the blood was racing through my veins. Yet, at 4 in the morning, against my better judgment, I decided I was going to go. That night was ages ago, and yet I still see it clearly in my mind's eye. In the past 20 years, we have grown, and I have grown along with you. I've struggled to both lose my shyness and to learn restraint and humility in command. I have struggled physically to build a colony, emotionally to see my people perish from the harsh environment, and mentally to solve the problems, scientific, political, and practical, of a civilization. But I have not been alone in these struggles, for I have had all of you by my side, feeling my pain, calming my anxiety, and reminding me that a leader does not always command. A leader is an adult, but a student as well. A student that must learn from the greatest teacher, experience. I have had many, many experiences since I was a young graduate student. But thanks to you all, I have managed to keep the promise to myself I made all those years ago. At the end of the day, I am not your superior, but your sister, your friend, your fellow Martian, so to speak. And while the majority of this world is still harsh and cold, our beautiful little colony remains a beacon of light that I know will never die out, that must never die out. We still have a long way to go, but be proud, my friends. We did a job well done. Thank you, and goodbye.